Let's take a look at the pen tool plus principles assignment. There are 9 total pages in this assignment. 2 of them are pen tool exercises, and the other ones are basic design principles. So first thing I'd like to have you take a look at is the layers panel. So there are 3 layers that are already generated for this template. 2 of them are locked, and the third one is your working layer. This is where you're going to actually put all of your vector artwork. When you're done, you're going to turn off this layer that is labeled turn off layer. And that hides the template, and then you will save this file, and that is what you're going to turn in. Okay, so for now I'm going to leave that on because we're going to need it in order to work on these different exercises. So I'm going to use the zoom tool, and you will notice that starting here on the first page, it gets progressively more complicated as you work your way through these various exercises. They are intended to give you a very broad scope of tool learning, basically with the pen tool. So I'm going to look at this one here, which has had students get a little bit hung up. This is the first one that seems to be a problem for students. This is curves with corner points, and I'm going to choose my pen tool. You have to be very, very specific in following the instructions. So it says click and press, hold down shift key. So you literally want to click your mouse, press it down, hold it down, then press your shift key simultaneously and drag your cursor to this number 2 spot, then release. And then the second instruction's a little bit different. Click, release. So you're going to click and release once you move your cursor to number 3. Click and release. Then press on the anchor point. Hold down shift key. So click and release. Then press on the anchor point a second time, holding down the shift key and moving your cursor to number 4. All right, so let me try that again. The rest of these are exactly the same. So click release, then press down again on the anchor point and hold down the shift key and move it to number 6. Right, so click release and then press again, hold down the shift key, right? And that's how you do this. I'm going to release this now, and I'm going to point out that in this drawing, as with the others, you really want to make sure that your fill, I'm going to come up to, there's 2 places where you can activate fills and strokes. So your stroke is black. Your fill here, it happened to default to white. So I'm going to make sure that my fill is none. Because as you do these and you go through them, you definitely want your fill to be none. And for stroke, I'm going to pick something other than black. I'm going to pick magenta. And finally, I have control over that stroke with the stroke panel here on the right. I'm going to expand that, and I'm going to choose 3. Right? That's 3 points. It gives it a little bit more heft. It's a little bit easier to see. Right? Okay, let's look at the one above it. This one is a little bit tricky too. So getting back to my pen tool, click, starting at number 1, click and press. Hold down shift key. So this is basically the same as that other one. Click and press. Hold down shift key, drag to here. Right? Click and press, hold down shift key, drag to here. Right? This one's actually a little bit easier. right? And so that's how these are done. And as you can see here, let me just back out a little bit. Once you finish all of these and you turn off this working layer, the template layer, it will be easy for me to see what work you've done and separate it from the rest of the work. Okay.